Clearwater? Waiting for Will. Anybody know a good joke? You got one? None that are clean. The mic's off.
Wouldn't you rather be at the Rotary Fair than here?
can't see it at like 4 or 5 o'clock.
He was on his porch one day, and
You're like, I know that guy?
sorry,
No, it's all right. Is that what you recognized him?
just so I know.
Good evening and welcome to the Township Committee meeting of August 13th, 2024. Ms. Brake, can you please call the roll?
Committeewoman Hand.
Here.
Committeeman Lapani.
Present.
Committeewoman Payne.
Here.
Deputy Mayor Ciccarelli.
Here.
Mayor Britting. Administrator Ferrera.
Here.
Attorney Willard.
Here. Please be advised that in accordance with Section 5 of the Open Public Meetings Act, Chapter
Yep.
it's
Yes.
231 of the Public Laws of 1975, notice of this meeting was made by posting on the bulletin board at the Hillsborough Township Municipal Complex and notifying the officially designated newspapers that this meeting would take place at the Hillsborough Municipal Complex at 7:30 p.m. on August 13th, 2024. Please join me in a salute to the flag. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, let's start with reports from the committee liaisons, starting with Committeewoman Hand.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. All right, for the Parks and Rec. So Committeewoman Payne and I had the pleasure of accompanying Director of Parks and Rec and Social Services, Bob Wagner, as well as the Assistant Park and Rec Director, Griffin Dunn, to several of the area parks recently. It was a fabulous tour. We went to Singley, Otto's Farm Park, which I had not been to before. I think it was the first time we'd both visited there. Ann Van, Mike Meringer Park, as well as Doherty. And it was just a moment to really reflect on all of the different activities and beautiful parks that we have available here in town that appeal to all different lifestyles and activity levels. So weather's really nice this week. If you're not at the Rotary Fair, try and hit a park. All right. For the health department, we are hiring. So we have a part-time property maintenance and code enforcement officer. So please, if you know anyone, feel free to refer them or apply. We also have a reminder around rabies vaccination. So please, it's a great time to make sure your dog is licensed, as well as make sure they are, vaccinated for rabies. It can really help save their life. Health department, radon tests continue to be available. Please stop by and pick one up. And for safety summer, so this is interesting. I had not heard of this before. So these are water watcher badges. They're available in the health department. So, if you're around water, it's good to have an adult that is making sure they're watching the kids at all times. So, especially sometimes when when you have a lot of adults around, everyone's accountable, no one's accountable. So there can actually be a bracelet that gets passed around. So there is a designated adult watching the children in the water. And you can have, this is a great idea. So there is a bracelet that could be passed from adult to adult. These are free and they're in the health department. Really a great addition, especially if you own a pool. All right, looking at fishing. It's a very popular activity, especially at Ann Van. We just want to thank the Hillsborough Bird Club, who, with a grant from Thrivent Action Team, was able to create these tubes to recycle fishing line. One of the concerns is the fishing line gets in the water and the hooks, and it ends up entangling birds, turtles, fish. It's really not helpful to the wildlife there. So They have tubes where you can put your fishing line in. It will be recycled. And again, we want to thank the Hillsborough Bird Club, Vicki Schwartz, and Dr. Kenneth Schneider. So thank you to them. Parks and Rec also, as we start to get ready for school, they do have fall programming and activities available, STEM and cooking classes, tennis and pickleball lessons for those of you interested, Bollywood dance, which I know some of my committee members are very excited about, that they've told me, and then Pilates. So definitely check it out. All right, social services. They are announcing their second senior meditation and yoga series. This is in collaboration with the Avon Assisted Living here in Hillsborough, and that series begins on Tuesday, August 20th, in honor of National Senior Citizens Day. So please check it out. In social services, there is a list. You'll see it tomorrow in CAN. But as you can tell, and you're probably wondering, why is there a bunch of cereal? I don't know who here, either has a kid or eats cereal at home. I know we've got like multiple boxes. My kids love it. So think about getting up in the morning and not having, that easy snack to eat. So please, it's easy to grab another box or two at the grocery store, and we just ask and remind you to please consider donating to Hillsborough CAN. Additionally, they are in need of new or gently used backpacks. Again, I found some just in my house that were, again, gently used. So any school supplies, as kids get ready and excited for school, one of the best things about going back to school was getting your school supplies organized and ready for class. We want to make sure that every kid can feel that joy. So please consider either donating new or gently used supplies to the Social Services Department. Last but not least, we would like to thank Mike Powell and the Branchburg Beef and Dairy Livestock 4-H Club, and Duke's Farm, Norris Hill Farm, and Belmead Co-op for their generous donation of assorted meats to the Hillsborough CAN. Again, this was allowing fresh, locally sourced protein to all of our clients. So thank you so much. Thank you, Deputy Mayor.
Thank you, Committeewoman Hand. Next, Committeeman Lapani.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. I've got quite a bit here, so I'll try to be as succinct as possible. First of all important voter registration deadline. So I would like to remind you, if you'd like to vote in 2024 general election, but you are not registered as of yet, the deadline is to register to vote is October 15th of 2024. I repeat, the deadline to register to vote is October 15th of 2024. See tomorrow's e-news flyer for a link to voter registration online. On June 5th, Governor Murphy signed into law legislation to modernize and reform the Open Public Records Act, otherwise known as OPRA. These changes will be in effect beginning September 3rd. For more information, please visit the State of New Jersey Governor's Record Council website. There will be a link on tomorrow's e-news if you want to read what the new laws are and how to obtain records through the OPRA Act. Again, that's June 5th. They will be, June 3rd, September 3rd, they become active. From EDBC, registration is open for the 7th Annual Restaurant Week, which takes place from September 24th through September 29th. Again, that's from September 24th to September 29th. Participation is free for our restaurants and is a great opportunity to promote the food establishment that you own or manage. Contact the Economic and Business Development Office for more information. The HBA's second annual awards dinner will be held on October 17th at Roycebrook Golf Club. For the remainder of the month, residents can nominate their local business to win awards at the event. There are 8 different categories eligible, so there are many ways to vote or nominate a business that you are in favor of. On Tuesday, July 23rd, the Economic Development Office had Kathy Guzman, a senior small business liaison with the New Jersey Economic and Development Authority, otherwise known as the NJEDA, come to the municipal building where she met with 5 local small business owners to discuss grant opportunities available for them. Each meeting uncovered grants that small businesses can apply for and receive funds and free money. Everybody likes the free money, right? The meetings were very insightful, and the business owners all found it helpful. The NJEDA will be coming out again October 30th from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. We hope this will, more local business will come to learn about what this has to offer. And I'll just say that this is not a application that is very difficult. And basically, it is, the money is there. If you qualify, you get it. It is not a competitive grant. So it is basically for small business owners. It can be used for capital repairs, new appliances, new office furniture. Can be used actually for rent help. So I urge small business owners that if anything is possible, and again, it's not competitive. If you qualify, you get the money. This summer issue of the Experience Hillsborough digital magazine is now live. This edition highlights local spots for summer activities, the Rotary Club, obviously, for the Rotary Fair this week, and also other treats to help you stay cool this summer. From the Finance Office is hiring part-time assistant to the CFO. For the job description and to apply, please visit the Township website, Human Resources, or Employment pages. Also, for your information, the fourth quarter tax amounts will be available on the tax collector website on August 19th. The 2024 and final 2025 preliminary tax bills will be mailed out the week of September 9th. The Tax Assessor's Office next month will begin their residential inspections as part of our annual reassessment program. The Assessor's Office performs inspections on 1/5 of the township each year. Each inspector drives a township-marked vehicle and wears a township ID badge. If it's not possible to let an inspector in when they're in your area, they will leave a note for you to call the office to schedule an appointment at your convenience for the interior inspection at the number listed will be 908-369-8077. Feel free to call the assessor's office at that number to confirm your inspector's name. Inspections are very important because they confirm the amenities and condition of the home. If inspections are not performed and amenities are in home conditions will have to be estimated. So maybe to your advantage to have it be inspected personally as opposed to an estimate given. PSA&G has informed the township that tree vegetation maintenance along the power lines and transformer lines will be conducted over the next few months. Trimming trees along the power lines is necessary to provide safe, proper, adequate, and reliable electric service to consumers throughout the area. So you'll see trucks, and all say public service, there'll probably be a third-party vendor out there just pruning along lines in the township. So that is to prevent power loss in case of storms, which we've obviously all experienced in the last few months. Also, Buckeye Pipeline has informed the township that they will be conducting pipeline integrity maintenance digs along Hamilton and Willow Road. This work will be including clearing trees and vegetation along the pipeline, which will be conducted to verify its safety. This is just a standard practice just to go along the pipelines periodically to verify there are no structural damages to the pipes. So nothing to be informed about, it's just annual maintenance and confirming integrity of the pipes. The building department is hiring electrical, plumbing, and fire inspectors. These are full-time positions, but we will consider a qualified candidate looking for part-time hours. For the job description and to apply, please visit the Township website, Human Resources and Employment pages. Please be advised that the building department's payment hours have been adjusted. Payments may only be made between 8 a.m. and 3 p.m., Monday through Friday, with the exception of online credit card payments. Please contact the building department at 908-369-5882 to receive a link for online payment. And from our Public Works Department, obviously we know hurricane season is in full swing, and the Department of Public Works is requesting to help Hillsborough residents with thousands of storm drains. Every little bit helps in an effort to uncover the debris. So obviously with leaves falling and debris, if you have a storm drain in front of your house, just if you could just unclog it, because if it's clogged, then the water backs up into your house and your neighbor's house. So it doesn't take much, just keep the maintenance on the drains if that's possible. If you should notice any excessive material that is causing a clog, please feel free to contact the DPW office at 908-369-3950, and we will send a road supervisor to inspect and spot and determine what action may need to be taken. And finally, as Committeewoman Hand said, it's time for the Rotary Fair. I should be there, but I'm here instead. It's much cooler. The annual Rotary Fair and Business Expo is open. Once again, the Hillsborough Promenade is transformed into a classic carnival with colorful midway, amusement rides, games of chance, fireworks, food vendors, and an exposition of local businesses. The Rotary Fair will be open for 5 days beginning today, August 13th. Fair hours are 6 to 10 p.m. on Tuesday through Thursday and 6 to 11 p.m. on Friday and Saturday. The spectacular fireworks display sponsored by our local businesses, the Petrox Bar and Grill and Petrox Liquors, will light up the Hillsborough skies on Friday evening, August 16th. There is a rain date set for August 17th. And the Rotary Fair, for those who may or may not know what it is, it's basically our major fundraiser. We create our yearly fund, so to speak, to support all the local charities that are in this town, families in need, whatever. And I think that we've given over $1 million back to the community in the last 10 years. So this is why we do it, and then we encourage you to come. It's a great place for your family fun. It's wholesome, but it is a chance for us to give back to the families of this and the community. That's all, Deputy Mayor.
Great. Thank you, Committeeman Lapani. And Committeewoman Payne.
Last but not least, this is the blessing and the curse of having summer meetings. we get to speak twice as long for half the time. So for the police, the Hillsborough Township Police Department is accepting applications for a position of police officer until September 15th. See the details in tomorrow's e-news or the Hillsborough Township website. School will be in session in just a couple of weeks. With that in mind, the Hillsborough Police Department would like to remind Hillsborough residents of the following school bus safety tips. Never, ever pass a stopped school bus when lights are flashing. Be aware of increased pedestrian traffic in and around schools and bus stops. If on the opposite side of a median from a stopped school bus, reduce your speed to 10 miles an hour. And remember to allow for extra time for travel and anticipate increased volume around the schools. National Night Out is officially back on. The new date is Tuesday, September 10th from 6 to 8 p.m. at Mountain View Park. We hope to see you there, and thank you for understanding that the date needed to be rescheduled. For fire safety, we celebrate Fire Prevention Week in October to commemorate the anniversary of the Great Chicago Fire. However, fire prevention is important every day. This year, the 2024 Fire Prevention Week campaign message is smoke alarms. Make sure they work for you. Make them work for you. This campaign focuses on the importance of having working smoke alarms in the home. Smoke alarms cannot do their job, notify the fire department of a fire, if they are not in the home in the proper places or do not operate. Did you know that roughly 3 out of 5 fire deaths happen in the home with either no smoke alarms or no working smoke alarms? So be sure to install, test, and replace smoke alarms and their batteries as needed. You may elect to resolve your municipal court. You may also elect to resolve your municipal court matter without a hearing by completing the plea by mail form. This form may only be used to plead not guilty or guilty in certain traffic or parking cases, or guilty in certain non-traffic cases. You can find the form at njcourts.gov, or you can always contact the court at 908-369-3532. court@hillsborough-nj.org is also their email address. For the veterans, the third quarterly Veteran Information Session will be held on September 14th at 10 a.m. in the Senior Activity Room. The guest speaker will be a Somerset County Department of Aging representative, Josh. Super looking forward to this. The annual ceremony to honor POW and MIA will take place on Friday, September 20th at 9 a.m. in the Garden of Honor if weather permits. In the event of inclement weather, the ceremony will be moved to the Senior Activity Room. for the Municipal Alliance in a continued effort to combat the opioid crisis and support the health and safety of the community, Hillsborough is pleased to announce the installation of a Narcan naloxone distribution box at the Hillsborough Township Municipal Building, located here at 379 South Branch Road. The box installed in the main hallway of the municipal building below the AED kit is the first to be installed, with the intent to expand the program to include boxes at other easily accessible public locations. The Narcan is free and is intended for anyone in need. Narcan is a life-saving medication that can rapidly reverse the effects of an opioid overdose and has been proven to save lives in emergency situations. We also know that quick access to Narcan can mean the difference between life and death in the event of overdose. We encourage everyone to be familiar with how to use Narcan and to feel confident with this resource, that this resource is available whenever needed. If you've noticed all the hoopla tonight, these are actually going to be the kits that the township and the Municipal Alliance will be stationing throughout many of our public spaces. And so we're very excited to be able to offer that to the community. And also, just for awareness, there are certain pharmacies in town that also, if you went in and asked, if you were having an event and you needed to go in and ask for Narcan, you can also, in most cases, get that for free there as well. That's all, Deputy Mayor.
Thank you, Committeewoman Payne. I have some comments. First, it's a lot about roads. The 206 update, we're happy to report that work has finally restarted on Route 206. Last month, we had a meeting at the NJDOT offices in Trenton, and we were assured that work would be resuming. And earlier this week, crews were out on the road doing a lot of surveying. At least I witnessed some surveying. We were promised regular project updates from the DOT, and we will be sharing them when we receive them. Other paving, we have kicked off our road project update, or I'm giving you an update on one. Falcon Road is on schedule and still on schedule to be completed by the first week in September. Drainage piping's been completed, curbing installed, and it's about 50% complete. Milling and paving should be completed in August. Phase 1 of the 2024 road paving program includes 5 roads that were bid and awarded to DeSantis Construction, and that should start this month. Paperwork and bonds are now being processed. Phase 2 of this year's road paving program includes 9 roads. Those bids were completed and returned on August 9th. The work is on the agenda for tonight to approve and hopefully start construction in September or October. Amsterdam Drive, Phase 3 project is on the agenda tonight as well. That work will start in September. Auten Road repaving from Triangle Road to the railroad tracks is a local aid-funded DOT project, and the DOT is still reviewing plans. We're informed that they will be approved shortly and hope to obtain that approval in August this month so we can go to bid, receive bids in late August or early September, award at a TC meeting, and possibly start this construction in October or November. I know I wanted it before school started, but it's a process. Brown Ave has been bid. We have a low bid to Pave Right Contracting and is on the agenda for award tonight. Construction there can start in September and be completed by year end. In addition to this, let's call it typical milling and paving work, we are implementing a pavement preservation program as part of this overall program. We have tonight's agenda an approval for I'll say a new technology to Hillsborough called micro and chip seal process, which will preserve approximately another 3.5 miles of roads, which will extend their life, so we won't have to do milling and paving for another 5, 6, 7 years on those at least. It's a cost-efficient way and effective way to expand the use of our capital program. And in concert with all this paving work are the capital equipment purchases for our DPW. They go out ahead of time and prepare the roads for any of this pavement preservation. And they'll also continue their regular ongoing pothole and pavement repair work. So all kinds of road work going on. I think the mayor said the summer of roads. So we're really kicking that off in force tonight. Ribbon cuttings. I attended, as well as the rest of the Township Committee, the ribbon cutting at Abma's Farm, located at 282 Amwell Road. It's officially open. The Township Committee and Economic and Business Development Commission attended the ribbon cutting on Friday, July 19th, to celebrate the addition of this new farm in town. Abma's Farm offers a petting zoo, a farm market, and a U-pick field where there's something for everyone. They also grow produce, hay, and straw, raise their own livestock and chickens, and house thriving beehives to supply their farm markets in Hillsborough and Wyckoff, New Jersey, their CSA program, and various markets in New York and Pennsylvania. At Abma's, everything is homegrown, is raised with love, and picked daily and served fresh. So go out and visit. If you want to go to the petting farm, I suggest you can register online and you get a couple dollars discount. But it's available online, so take a visit. There are applications are open for the Township's rewards program. The Hillsborough Township Credit Card Advisory Committee will be accepting grant applications beginning today, August 13th, for the fall round of 2024 grants. Applications are available on the Township website or can be picked up in the administration office for any Township-based nonprofit, senior, or youth organizations to apply for grants of up to $2,000, which are funded through the Hillsborough Rewards Program. So look for the press release in tomorrow's e-news. Scarecrow Festival, where the Township is pleased to announce the 4th Annual Scarecrow Festival, which will once again take place this fall. Registration is open for this fun, interactive event. It's open on Friday, August 17th. Beginning on September 29th, the Scarecrows will maintain vigilance on the grounds of the Hillsborough Municipal Complex. All Township residents, businesses, organizations, classrooms, and sports teams are invited to start planning. Over the past 3 years, more than 40 scarecrows lined Scarecrow Lane along the municipal complex's rain garden out front, and organizers hope to see even more crows aloft in 2024. For more information, see the press release again in tomorrow's e-news. There's AARP. The Hillsborough is now enrolled in AARP's network of age-friendly states and communities, the first town in Somerset County to receive this recognition. The AARP's age-friendly network encourages states, counties, cities, towns, and rural areas to prepare for this country's aging population. The network encourages elected officials and local leaders to focus on and strengthen features and services that help make communities livable for residents of all ages. So it's our privilege to not only achieve enrollment in AARP's network of age-friendly states and communities, but also ensure that Hillsborough residents age in an environment that is safe and accessible for all ages. So what the AARP program promotes really benefits everybody. And lastly, Hillsborough Township has been actively researching and pursuing grant opportunities to bring programs and improvements to the municipality at little or no cost to taxpayers. Over the past 12 months, the township has successfully applied for and received several grants totaling more than $1.5 million to foster growth, improve infrastructure, and support local programs. These grants reflect Hillsborough's commitment to ensuring a vibrant and thriving community for its residents and businesses. There's a summary, I think we have a summary of grants awarded to Hillsborough in the past year, and they have an impact that they will have on the community. So the press release will have a list of those grants, so look for that. And that is my last item to report. We have a couple of proclamations on the agenda, so I'll step down. I am a card-carrying member. Are we on? Absolutely. I saw the shirt earlier.
There you go.
right.
How are you, Deputy Mayor? Pleasure.
All right. This is for you. There's the proclamation. So, Hillsborough Township has committed to actively work with residents and local advocates to make our town age-friendly, creating multiple programs towards the well-being of our senior residents. AARP helps participating communities to become more livable and age-friendly by creating safer and more walkable streets, needed housing and transportation options, better access to key services, and opportunities for residents to participate in community activities. AARP has welcomed Hillsborough Township as the first town in Somerset County to be enrolled in the AARP network of age-friendly states and communities. Enrollment in the network will provide Hillsborough with the resources to become more age-friendly by tapping into national and global research, planning models, and best practices. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed that we, the mayor and Hillsborough Township Committee, hereby thank the AARP for enrolling Hillsborough Township into the network of age-friendly states and communities. We look forward to improving our community for people of all ages. So, thank you.
Thank you.
This kind of came about as part of the master plan, right? So it kind of ties in with that. So if you'd like.
Sure. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Donato Neiman, and I am state president for New Jersey of AARP as a volunteer. I also was the administrator down the road for 23 years in Montgomery, so I'm acutely aware of the changing population and demographics. We are excited for the Township of Hillsborough to join our age-friendly network of states and communities. Enrollment in the network requires communities to conduct an assessment of their age friendliness, identify strategies for improvement, and implement those strategies over time. Hillsborough joins with much of this work already under their belt. By joining the network, Hillsborough has made a commitment to identifying and addressing the needs of its aging population, creating a more inclusive and accessible community. AARP looks forward to supporting Hillsborough's continued work in creating a community that is more livable and inclusive for people of all ages. What's significant also is that in the year 2030, there will be more people over the age of 65 than under the age of 18. So this problem needs to be addressed now so we can live in communities where we grew up, which I would love to do. But I want to thank Hillsborough for that proclamation. It's greatly appreciated.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Now let's take a photo. Should I get my card out?
Yeah, right? Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Good night.
Thank you. And next is our Overdose Awareness Day. So anybody from the Municipal Alliance like to come up, please? Thank you. Come on, I know there's more of you. I've been to those meetings. Who would like to hold the proclamation? Minda? That's who I thought. There you go. Thank you. So, in recognition of Overdose Awareness Day, overdose affects everyone from grieving families to first responders. There were nearly 303 reported drug overdose deaths in 2023, and approximately two-thirds involved synthetic opioids. Narcan distribution programs can save lives by reversing the effects of an opioid overdose. Hillsborough is proud to announce the installation of a Narcan distribution box in the municipal building, as previously discussed. The Narcan is free of charge to anyone in need and has been provided by the Hillsborough Millstone Municipal Alliance, utilizing opioid settlement money. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed that we, the Mayor and Hillsborough Township Committee, hereby recognize August 31st, 2024, as Overdose Awareness Day and vow to continue to support programs committed to preventing overdose deaths. So, thank you.
Thank you.
Would you like to
Sure.
say one? I can hold it for you.
As always, thank you to the Township Committee and to our community for doing proclamations like this. It does a good job of raising awareness about the opioid crisis, as well as reducing stigma. We really want to get the word out. Municipal Alliance, we're just a few people here. We are a big committee of volunteers. We welcome anybody who would want to get involved. And we work on prevention education and really trying to help the community reduce overdose deaths and just raise awareness about the issue. So thank you very much for this, and we're going to kind of, I think, roll right into our presentation that kind of ties in with the opioid, or the Overdose Awareness Act and the Overdose Awareness Day. As the mayor said, we've lost a lot of people here in New Jersey, and it's a day to remember those people who were lost, and to help their grieving families, show them that kind of support. So thank you for this awareness and for always supporting the work that we do.
Great, thank you. Anything else? Does anybody else want to say anything? or-
Nope, we're
Okay.
ready for a picture.
All right. Oh, yeah. Hold on, hold on. Props.
Oh, yeah.
There you go.
Good job. Sorry.
Lead this out for you?
Yes. Don't go anywhere, Minda.
Yeah. I'll just put it here. Are you with, gonna start with her? Okay.
You gonna hold it? No, you won't. What if I told you that there is a way that you can help save someone's life, and you don't necessarily have to be a trained first responder? Would you believe me? Some of you are looking like a little quizzical. Well, you can. We're going to talk a little bit about that briefly tonight. And the chair of our opioid task force, and, well, she's a lot of other groups and pieces of Hillsborough, Minda Maggio, is going to share an update from our opioid task force about the opioid money that has come into Hillsborough through the grants that our great administrator had written for. And so we're using that money wisely. We're going to share that with you now. Minda, come on and tell them how they can help out and what's been going on with this money. She doesn't want to.
It's probably better if I don't, right? Okay. So, and Sarah, you're going to put the slides? What's that?
Start talking.
Okay, so just to sort of continue this conversation and give the community and the Township Committee a little bit of an update. So really a very brief history on the opioid crisis and kind of where we are today. So back in the 1990s, pain management was a priority in treating hospital patients. And the opioid was reconfigured back then, for example, OxyContin, and they were marketed back then, very highly marketed, as safe and non-addictive. And that was sort of new in the pain management world. Between 1999 and 2020, we lost over 500,000 Americans to opioid-involved overdoses. And in many of those cases, those were legitimate prescriptions that were prescribed to people for pain management. So if you had had a knee surgery or a hip replacement surgery or even dental surgery, oftentimes you were prescribed this pain medicine. And in fact, this opioid pain medicine is highly addictive. You can become addicted to opioid pain medicine in 5 days. It's something that we really need to be aware of when we are prescribed things like this. So fast forward, here we are now, back in like 2019, 2020, the federal and state governments got together and really created some policies and responded with legal actions. So that's really kind of what we're here to talk about today. We wanted to give everybody kind of an update on these settlements that we've been awarded. So the Hillsborough administration, thank you to Anthony Ferrara, applied for all the available opioid settlements that were available. There are 7 that were available. They are from pharmaceutical companies, from pharmaceutical distributors, and also from pharmacies, such as like CVS or Walgreens. So there's 7 total settlement agreements. Each of these, we started receiving payments on these back in early 2023. So each of these settlements have varying schedules and varying payouts, but this money will be coming into Hillsborough. This is the great news. This money will be coming into Hillsborough for at least 18 years on some of these settlements. So it's in the world that we have lived in the Municipal Alliance and Youth Services Commission, we have often operated on very, very tiny budgets, and this really is a boost to our ability to really do some good work. So next slide. So we started receiving this money here in the township, and Anthony and the township administration said, we really need to create a task force to help manage this money and to make sure that we're spending this money appropriately. So a task force was created. It includes members of the Municipal Alliance, who you saw here tonight, members of the Youth Services Commission. Both of those commissions work on substance abuse and mental health awareness. And we've also engaged the Hillsborough Police Department. They are a key stakeholder in this in our community, as well as our Finance Department. So the Hillsborough Finance Department clearly wants to be sure that we are spending this money appropriately and we are utilizing this money the way it was intended. The mission of our task force is to raise awareness about substance abuse and those coexisting mental health conditions, because oftentimes they occur together. We want to reduce stigma associated with substance abuse and mental health issues, and we want to provide resources, programs, information to the Hillsborough community. That's really sort of a very big overview picture of what we are trying to accomplish. What we also did was we've stayed very connected with the county. The Somerset County was also awarded this settlement money through different settlement streams, and they conducted a survey in the community, which included Hillsborough residents, to talk about how should we be spending this money, what do people think we should be spending this money to do. So we've been making very data-driven decisions based on that Somerset County survey. We also have been doing evidence-based programs because we feel like we know that those are reputable programs. We've been participating in county networking sessions and networking with the other municipalities in the county. We can always learn from our partners in the county. What are they doing? How are they spending the money? And we also are adhering to the reporting requirements that these settlements are instituting, and making sure that we adhere to those. So what have we done so far with the money? So the money started coming in early 2023, so it's not been that long of a time. But we've kind of put it into buckets. So we've been doing some assembly programs and some prevention education in the school district in various grades, as well as with our parents. We've also done some community programs for the community at large. We've supported some character education programs in the school district, because we know that it's so important for our kids to be exposed to positive adult role models, to be involved in things, to be connected to their community, to be connected to the kids in the community. We know that those are all great protective factors for our children. We also have supported the Hillsborough Police Department. We know they are a key stakeholder in how we're spending this money. So we've supported some community policing events that they've done, as well as purchased some DARE materials and supplies. DARE is our 6th grade prevention education program, and so we were happy to be able to do that. And then the last bucket, which we've been talking about, is the Narcan, and we piloted the program, as Committeewoman Payne said. We piloted the program with a box out here. We will be monitoring that. We want to make Narcan available. We know Narcan saves lives, and we want to make it available free and anonymously to anybody who needs it. We want to talk about Narcan in the sense that every house has a fire extinguisher, every house has a first aid kit, every house should have Narcan. And you may think, well, I don't have anybody in my life. I don't need that. You never know. And you can be the difference in saving somebody's life. And it's so simple. And so we are going to be hosting, not to get ahead of myself, but we are going to be hosting multiple Narcan trainings, both for employees here in the building as well as community members. Anybody is welcome to come. It's super easy. You get some good background information. It's very easy to use, and you can be the difference between saving somebody's life. Next slide. So here's a picture of the Narcan. That's the box that it's sitting in. So there's 2 Narcans in there. It's out in the hallway. If anybody feels they need it, please come and take it. It's free. No questions asked. We want to get that into people's hands. It is also available, as Committeewoman Payne said, in a lot of our local pharmacies. So if you need Narcan, please take it out of that box. And it's on the back table. Please, and each of those little bags has two kits in it, so please take it, keep it. You don't want to keep it in your car, especially this time of year with the heat, and even in the winter when it gets super cold. You really, want to keep it, I think, above 77 degrees, or below 77, below 77 degrees. So keeping it in your car is not the best place for it, but keeping it in your desk drawer at work, keeping it in your home, again, we want to destigmatize this and make people aware that it can save lives, and it's just a good thing to have. And then just the last slide, just some upcoming things that we have. So there's a program up in Somerville, Not an Easy Fix. That's a program that was created by a family who unfortunately lost someone to an overdose death. Really powerful program. We have been in conversation with them to maybe bring it into our school. Overdose Awareness Day, as we talked about, is August 31st. Again, it's just really important to remember those people that we have lost to this horrible crisis. Narcan trainings are going to be ongoing. And then just Municipal Alliance is an open public meeting. Anybody is welcome to come to any of these meetings. If you have some thoughts or you have some suggestions or thoughts about how this money could be spent or things that you have ideas about, some of the things that we talked about, really our plan is to do those on a very regular basis. So the prevention education assembly program, for example, Steered Straight, we will be doing that on an annual basis in the high school, and we've been doing it. So we want to sort of have some of those regular programming going on, but then there's always an opportunity to do extra things. And again, this money is going to be coming in waves for at least the next 18 years that we know of. So does anybody have any questions or?
Not an easy fix is on the 18th. On the 18th in Somerville, they're doing from 6 to 8:30. They're doing a candlelight visual.
Yes, thank you.
In front of the courthouse.
Yep. And anybody is welcome. So,
I just wanted to add that if you're ever dosing someone with Narcan and because you think that they're having an event and they're not, the Narcan doesn't hurt someone who is not on something else, and it's not like they've given it to runners on treadmills and things like that. So it's a completely safe drug. Just throwing that out there too.
yes, that's a good reminder. You can't hurt
you
anybody
can't hurt
by
someone,
dispensing
yeah.
it. Like she said, if somebody really was having, something else going on, you're not going to hurt them. And it's not like if you EpiPen somebody, they have to go to the hospital. They have to be monitored. Their heart has to be monitored. If you gave somebody Narcan and they really were not overdosing, you're not going to hurt them, and there's sort of no downsides to having it, no downside to having it.
There are instructions in this kit with the 2 Narcan treatments, and there's also gloves and a CPR mask. So in addition to the trainings that we're going to offer, there's some instructions in here that help with this information and others. Also on the back table, you can take on your way out from Empower Somerset, my parent agency, is our 24-hour crisis intervention card that has phone numbers for all sorts of crisis intervention, and then our impact guide that has local mental health and substance use resources. So please feel free to take these. If you need some, see me, call the township. They can get a hold of me any number of ways.
Too easy.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. So thank you very much for your time, and also know that we will be circling back with you on a regular basis, right? I may not be here in 18 years giving you this presentation, but we will be circling back. Right, to continue to keep you updated on kind of what, how this money is coming in and what we're using it for. So, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Deputy, I'd like to just, it was mentioned, but really the driving force for these grants was Anthony Ferrara. I had to be mayor at the time. We were just coming out of COVID, if you remember. And shockingly, there are a lot of towns that didn't apply for this grant, believe it or not. It was just filling out some forms, and there was some process, but the money, as they just said, is going to roll into this community for a long time, and it just took someone the initiative to care and fill out some paperwork. So I'd like to thank Anthony on behalf of the township.
Thank you. And thank you. And the rest of the Municipal Alliance, make sure you pass our thanks on for the hard work that you and the group continue to do. So please, at the next meeting, pass that on. Or if they watch this, they'll see me thanking them. This concludes our proclamations and presentations. Congratulations to all recipients. Thank you for joining us this evening. We'll take a brief pause, maybe 5 minutes, 2 minutes. Stretch our legs. 2 minutes. Thank you. let's go back on the record. One more actual press release is coming out on Thursday, and it relates to the master plan. And we're going to be launching our Engage Hillsborough webpage. I think it's engagehillsboroughNewJersey.org or something, but you'll see a press release on Thursday. But the planning board, the master plan committee has been working on this for several months, and we're going to launch it. We'll be getting feedback from the community on the vision and goals of the master plan. So it's really the first part of an iterative process. It'll be ongoing for a couple of months, but this will be the first bit of feedback that we're going to get from the public. And so look for that in the coming days. I know it's something that people have a lot to say about. Let's move to the consent agenda. We have 44 items on there. Are there any that,
Got it?
which one was that? Was that number one?
Deputy Mayor. Deputy Mayor, I'd like to,
He was on me too, so.
I'd like to do consent agenda 1 through 4 first, please.
1 through 4?
Well, and, okay, so we're going to go 1 through 4 and then do
Yeah.
the rest?
Yeah.
That's fine.
Okay. So 1 through 4.
That is a motion. We need a second.
Pardon?
We need a second.
We need a second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. So 1 through 4.
So we need a motion to accept. Now we need a motion to accept 1 through 4.
All right. We need a motion to accept 1 through 4.
Motion
moved.
ma- Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Well, you did roll call, but-
Any again? Do we need a roll call for that? I'm going to the end here, yeah.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. I appreciate it, and thank you for our newest employees, for the patients that are there. So I'll go over each one. First, on consideration number 1, hiring of Carson Venice. We are super happy to bring him on board through our open position in recreation, especially with the skill set and the credentials that he has to jump right in there. So we're thrilled to have him. I could say for all the positions that we're bringing in today, we are super lucky to have the people that are before you today to be voted on. The amount of people that we had for interviews was incredible. It was really tough to pick one person for the job. So we're very fortunate here in Hillsborough. The way we run Hillsborough and the employees, people want to be here, and the word gets out pretty quick. So we are very happy, and I'm thrilled as the administrator, as well as the folks here on the dais, to have the type of employees that we have. So welcome aboard, Carson. Second is Liz Beanstalk for the position of Administrative Assistant in Economic and Business Development Office. So I know that Sam left, so if I would have said not office, she would have been upset. So there we go. Make sure we tell her that when we see her tomorrow. So again, with the credentials and the experience to step right in there, just telling them during the break with Restaurant Week coming up and our many events that we have customer facing, we're one of the few towns that have an economic and business development office, and tourism is extremely important to me, as well as the mayor and the committee, as well as bringing in businesses. So I always say if I couldn't be the administrator, that's the department I'd want to work in, because it's an awesome group, creative group, and we're bringing in the right people. Third, which is extremely important to us up here, is having great floater pool, because when employees are out for multiple reasons, we need really good floaters, and we're lucky enough to have great floaters, and most of those floaters, where they need to be, have become part-time employees, full-time employees, go through our Hillsborough leadership training, and become management. We have a great succession program here. A lot of the great leaders and award winners here in Hillsborough started out in that program. So want to welcome Robin Biddle Abramo and Christopher Brake to that floater pool. Number 4, a resolution hiring Brittany Yakulich for part-time position as outreach specialist for Economic and Business Development Commission office as well. Thrilled to bring her on board, both having our 2 newest employees for EBDC starting together with the experience that they have and background. It's going to be just incredible. So I know Susanna is not here today, but we're both thrilled, as well as Harriet Fenster-Good, our HR manager. We're thrilled to have the employees before you today and on the agenda for consideration. So I anticipate great things moving forward with everybody that's on the agenda, and having them here and having a career in Hillsborough, as we talked about in the interview, not just a job, but a career in Hillsborough and to move forward. So, welcome aboard. Thank you, Deputy Mayor.
Congrats.
Any other comments from the dais?
I would just say, I would add, so welcome. I think it's exciting. You know, we welcome the fresh perspective and, experience that you will all bring. And I think we all have a responsibility to make sure that these positions show the value that we bring to the township. We are in a historic year of raising taxes, over 15%. We have $54 million in debt, and we're bringing on new people. And I think what we want to prove is the value of these to the township so that they feel like they are, getting the most out of their tax dollars and getting the most out of our township employees. So I welcome all of you. I think it's a really high expectation, especially those of you in the Economic Business Development Group. But I know under Susanna's tutelage, you will do very well, and we anticipate great things. So we need that business to thrive. So thank you and welcome for Parks and Rec as well.
I'll just say, welcome. Obviously, we're just backfilling open positions, so it really doesn't have an impact on our budget. It's just filling in open positions, but still, quality people are always welcome, and I think we have quality people here, which is a direct benefit to the township and also the program that Anthony Ferreira develops as far as mentoring and giving people an opportunity to move up. So welcome.
Yeah, you're joining a group that is recognized by Somerset County as one of the strongest EBD groups in the county, the strongest. So you're coming in at a good time. They mentioned Restaurant Week and our annual dinner, so it should be, you're going to be jumped right in. We're throwing you right in the deep end. So do we have comments from the floor? No comments? Seeing none, roll call, please.
Committeewoman Hand.
Yes.
Committeeman Lapani.
Yes.
Committeewoman Payne. Yes. Deputy Mayor Ciccarelli.
Yes. Yes, you can go home unless
Yeah,
you
you
want to
guys
stick
can
around for the
So,
excitement.
That's why we do you first.
So thank you. Yes, they're working tomorrow, so I know they want to be here bright and
Oh, yeah.
early. So thank you and see you in the morning.
Thank you.
Congrats.
Thank you. Welcome aboard. Okay, so may I have a motion to approve consent agenda items 5 through 44?
Well, hold on. I would like to pull out item 8.
Item 8.
Motion.
So I would like to make a motion to pull out item 8.
I need a second.
Second.
Roll call or
You just do, Bill, do we have to do a roll call for that, or can we just do all in favor?
all in favor?
Any vote? Yeah.
Somebody wants to pull something out.
Yeah,
she
that's
wants
fine.
to pull something out.
Yep.
Yeah, we'll
All
do a
in
roll
favor?
call on the, yeah.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any
Aye.
opposed? Okay. Item number 8. So are we, am I going to do a motion to approve claims item number 8?
Yes, that was a motion to take it separately. You do a motion.
Set
now to-
separately, so may I have a
Yep.
motion to approve claims, I'm sorry,
Consent.
consent agenda item number 8?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Wait,
No,
oh,
no.
or-
So hold on.
Any comments?
Comments from the dais.
Yeah,
Comments from the dais, comments from the floor.
Comments from the
And
dais?
then-
You'll learn.
I'm getting there.
it's all good. So I had a couple questions on this one. And I read it multiple times, and I realized the title did change too from when we saw it to today, so that's a little helpful. So Resolution 8, the one I'm looking at is Resolution authorizing the Planning Board to conduct a preliminary investigation in accordance with local redevelopment and housing law to determine whether the property identified as Sunnymead Road, Block 182, Lot 6, should be designated as an area in need of redevelopment. So a couple questions on this one. When I read it, it talked about Block 182, 7.02, and Lot 6 together. It looks like they're both owned by Sunnymead Landfill, or by Sunnymead Ventures. And it looks like we have a resolution here to investigate to see if it is an area in need of redevelopment. But one of the attachments is a study claiming it to be an area in need of redevelopment. So I needed to understand the order, if somebody could like enlighten me.
I can enlighten you on this.
Thank you, sir.
So first of all, the original block and lot, as set forth in the resolution, the township had this piece of property. It was the Sunnymead landfill. The Sunnymead landfill did need to be closed in accordance with DEP regulations many moons ago. This goes back a long time. Many moons ago, the township, to avoid having to come out of their own funds to do that, they went through a public bidding process to see who might be interested in the property and what for particular purposes, and if they would close it at their own cost and expense. The company that came forward was Sunnymead Ventures. Sunnymead Ventures was the company that came forward. They indicated that they would do it, and they would close the landfill at their cost and expense and take the property off the hands of the township. So there was a memorandum of understanding with respect to that, but one thing that held the project up for over a decade was the fact that originally the NJDEP wanted an active methane gas system, venting system there, which is prohibitively expensive. So therefore, everybody thought, though, that a passive system would be sufficient. So for years, the DEP wasn't willing to sign off on it until there was proof that the passive system was installed, and working, and it was sufficient to relieve the methane gas from the landfill. So that went on for years. So finally, after over a decade, the NJDEP agreed with the township's experts and Sunnymead's experts and said, okay, we're okay with the passive system. And then so recently, we closed title on that property with Sunnymead Ventures. Sunnymead Ventures, though, in the meantime, to make what they want for use of that property. Originally, they were going to do a Class B recycling facility. Now, I believe what they would want to do, although they're asking for other uses, what they really want to do is they acquired property next door also, and they want to put in a solar project. That's what they want to try to do, is put in a solar project. So we agreed in part of our redevelopment plan, since they acquired the property directly next door, to now, because the original property, the 10.71 acres, has already been declared an area needed redevelopment. That study's already been done. That's done. The next process, though, they wanted to add the property that they acquired that's contiguous to it as an area needed redevelopment, so they can make one big redevelopment project. So that was the purpose for it. Sunnymead Ventures got a little bit ahead of themselves, and what they did was they hired a planner, and their planner went and prepared a redevelopment study designation. That will eventually be done by our planner. They were interested in getting moving, so they did it, and they just kind of sent it to us unsolicited. It just came to us like, here's the redevelopment, area designation study. So that's really not the procedure. The procedure is, like you're seeing tonight, the first step in the process is for you guys to refer it to the planning board to study it as an area of redevelopment. Our planner will look at it, and then they'll go from there. It'll go from the planning board, and then it'll come back to you guys for a final vote. So that's the history. If anybody else has any other questions, that's the history.
And that was really helpful. Any other questions? Because I have a couple more.
I do, sorry.
Go for it.
Yeah. Okay, so just to regurgitate a little bit, this was a landfill on both of the lots then?
No,
Just
the other
this
lot,
one lot?
no.
Okay.
No, the original lot,
And then how much land in
182,
total?
702, that's the property that had the landfill.
Okay, and then how much acreage in total? Do you know?
Yes, the Sunnymead landfill property had 10.71 acres, and this additional property is, I think, another 4.5 acres?
Okay,
4.37.
4.37.
so like 15 total roughly?
Yep.
Correct.
Okay,
Correct.
thank you.
So I just
That's all I
wanted,
had, Sam.
I just wanted to say, Deputy Mayor, so Bill did an excellent job of summarizing that. We've been working on this for about 15 years, and this was not a good piece of property for the town. So we're very fortunate to have moved this and going through the process. So that was an amazing summary of 15 years in 2 minutes, but that was a very good and accurate summary, so thank you.
And another question, it referred to a third parcel that was another 5 acres. So it talked about 702, it talked about 6, and maybe this is when they were getting a little over their skis, I think was the technical term. I believe it was in the redevelopment plan, or maybe it was in the consulting report that they did. There was a third parcel that they referred to that looks to be adjacent, but it looks like they're not taking, it looked like a large parcel. It looked like they were taking a piece of that third parcel. So I'm assuming we'll see this again.
No,
when they-
actually,
okay.
no, that's a great point.
Okay.
And what you're referring to there is not this resolution. What you're referring to is the actual redevelopment agreement, right? I think you might have found that reference in the redevelopment agreement. And in that, at that point in time, when we were talking to the principal of Sunnymead Ventures, he was indicating not only purchasing the property that you have on the agenda tonight, Lot 182, Lot 6, but an additional contiguous property that's also in that area. And I confirmed to him, because I actually don't want to do this twice, I said, we're not going forward with that other property, correct? And he said, no, we're not going forward with that other property. This is it. So that's why it's just limited to the Lot 6, because he was able to acquire the Lot 6 property.
Okay. And then, and I'm assuming now, so it's going to, I guess my point was, that was all super helpful. With all the different permitted uses, I think the town is very sensitive right now to, other big structures. And again, that is a somewhat industrial area. But in the past couple of years, there have been numerous houses built right down the road from it. So I just want to make sure that the public, who now call that their home, and they've built these, I think they're considered large homes right there near Falcon, right down from this, like just wanting to ensure that the public is aware, because I've been here 8 months, and I had not heard about this property until it came into the package this cycle. So I just want to make sure that the public is aware and that we're taking that into consideration, because that is.
So
looks to be
I'll
a
answer your
neighborhood.
question there. That property's been around, so most anybody don't know what it was or what it was, anyone that was here. I mean, it was a dump. Everyone went there and dumped. Like Anthony said, this has been being cleaned up with the DEP for over 10 to 15 years, multiple mayors. And the property, the way, because it's a landfill, cannot sustain the weight of any large structure. So that is theoretically why a solar field is, because the sub-base will not support a large structure. So they can't put use a large structure there because it's impossible to build it. But the problem, or the applicant was looking to, with the cost of the millions of dollars they've spent for the remediation of this property, which the township didn't have to spend if we didn't find a buyer for this, so it saved a lot of money, was looking to get that other piece of property to make that development feasible with the cost overruns. But it's going to be a continuous, and this will be presented during a planning board meeting, and during the planning board meeting, everyone will have an opportunity to hear the application, voice their concerns, opinions, whatever, and then just like the area being developed that we've had done in several places of this town, the process by the MLUL is pretty specific, and we have to follow that process to allow it to be done.
And thank you. That was the concern is, yes, we get it's a landfill. We're happy that this property is, something's being done with it, but it was a matter of what's going to go there. And again, it looked like they were asking for lots of uses, warehousing, there were many, many things listed. So as long as there's checks and balances in the process to ensure that doesn't come to fruition, and that that residents are notified in that area.
Yeah, no, sure, and for complete transparency, because this is a public record, it's a public document already agreed to, the redevelopment that is mentioned in the agreement talks about, number one, a solar facility, and again, that was one of the reasons why he acquired the adjacent property, because my understanding is to make it economically viable, he needed more land to build a bigger project to make it a solar facility. The next was he asked for self-storage facilities, professional offices, or the original use that he bid on 20 years ago was a Class B recycling facility. I think that's his least favorite use. He really wants to do the solar, so we'll hope that comes to fruition. But as far as warehousing, there's no warehouse permitted in that agreement. It's not
Processing, it had several things listed, so.
Yeah,
just
no,
wanted to
if you
make
take a
sure.
look at paragraph 3 and that, it's not one of the principal permitted uses.
I believe it's not a permitted use in this town right now either.
That is correct.
There you go.
That is correct, and it's not going to be for this redevelopment area either.
All right.
Right.
My questions. Thank you.
Okay. May I have a motion to?
Well,
No, we have them to public.
The public.
Geez, look at me.
Can we put the
Okay,
microphone
comments
out
from
there,
the
Sarah?
floor.
We put the
The mic's all
microphone.
the way over there. Oh, I got it.
Ms. Gulliford, I hope you don't have any other questions, because I'm out of information.
Susan Gulliford, Hunt Club Road. I have one question. I do remember when it was the Sunnymead landfill, there used to be lines of cars, and police officers used to be assigned for traffic and to prevent cutting-in problems. But I do have one question on this. Since it's now privately owned?
Yes, Sunnymead
Okay.
Ventures owns the landfill
Now,
property
okay.
correctly.
And
Yes.
it's ultimately going to have a solar array. Will that take it onto the property tax rolls also?
Yes.
Okay, it's not, I thought maybe because it was redevelopment, maybe it wouldn't, but we will be adding to our tax rolls.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Well, a redevelopment area, there's no provision in the agreement for anything pursuant to the long-term exemption law or pilot. There's no provision that we've agreed to, but a redevelopment plan would allow that if the township did. But but there's no agreement in place for any kind of long-term exemption.
Maria Janusik, 720 East Freck Avenue, Manville, New Jersey. I'm also a Hillsborough Township property owner, Block 86, Lot 3, 2155 Camplain Road. In this resolution, it states that there's a mutually agreeable redevelopment plan for the property. When was this redevelopment plan agreed to?
Can you show me where you're referring to that?
1, 2, 3, 4, fifth whereas.
It's a redevelopment and property sale agreement. It's a redevelopment and property sale agreement.
I'm sorry, what?
It's a redevelopment and property sale agreement.
All right, well, it's saying it's a redevelopment plan for the property.
You know what? No, and that's a fair, and you know what? I'm going to actually suggest right now that we amend that to say a redevelopment in the township oh, no. Actually, it is correct. Responsive.
I think it's at the end of the sentence. I see what you're saying. It
Yeah.
says adopting a mutually agreeable redevelopment plan when you said
Yeah.
that's not the case. They got over their skis.
Yeah. No, it's right. In response to the public, this is just indicating that their response at the time was they were willing to take on the property in consideration for coming up with a mutually agreeable redevelopment plan for the property. The redevelopment plan for the property has not been yet adopted.
It hasn't been
No,
adopted?
it has not been adopted. There is no redevelopment plan adopted for this property. The original property was declared an area of redevelopment. No redevelopment plan was adopted because we were going through all that with the NJDEP. And then now, at this point in time, he's adding this additional property, which we hope will also be an area of redevelopment, and then there will be a redevelopment plan for the property.
I think the word is to be considered for,
Yes,
not to, so.
yes.
So you need to
It was just given the history, and if you look, that was all the way back in 2009, that language.
So this needs to be reworded?
No, it actually doesn't. Reading it again, it's correct. It dates back that he was willing to purchase the property in consideration and clean up the property in consideration for a mutually agreeable redevelopment plan for the property.
I had to read this one several times as well, so I hear you. But I see what you're saying, Willard, with the, it's in consideration of a mutually agreeable. So when they made the agreement back in 2009, it sounds like they were like, hey, at some point, we want to do a redevelopment plan together. But again, the great part, and that was a lot of the questions I asked, is what are the checks and balances? And there are checks and balances. Us passing, if we choose to pass the resolution tonight, it still has many steps to go through, planning board, as well as this committee seeing it again. So that gave me peace of mind.
And you're correct, because it goes to the planning board, they do the study, whether it's an area redevelopment, and then after it's declared an area redevelopment, that's when you get to the next process, which is the actual redevelopment plan for the property.
Yeah.
And that's another whole process.
So this resolution needs to be agreed to before there's going to be a mutually agreeable redevelopment plan?
Correct.
And a study, yes.
And so is there some timeline when this is going to be done? Will this redevelopment plan be given to the planning board first, or this is all going to be after?
Ms. Janet, take the first step in the process. I don't know what the planning board schedule is, but the first step in the process is to get this to the planning board, and then they will do the rehabilitation, they will authorize and do the rehabilitation area study. Once that's completed and they make it their recommendation, then they submit that recommendation to the township committee, and then the township committee votes on whether to declare the property an area redevelopment. After that's done, then you come up with the redevelopment plan for the property. So you're talking, it's not gonna happen to the end of this year, at the earliest. At the earliest. Yeah, so. Oh, and then the development itself, forget it, yeah.
Okay, so Block 182, Lot 6 needs to be designated as an area in need of redevelopment.
That's what we're asking the planning board to study, if it qualifies under the statute.
Under the statute, there are certain criteria need to be met for this to be an area in need of redevelopment.
Yes, ma'am.
This is a vacant, never used property.
You're correct, and that's one of the factors that would be studied, and that in and of itself, what you just said, is a basis to declare it an area redevelopment.
Okay, but except how do you declare something an area in need of redevelopment if it was never had?
I can just refer you to the redevelopment law, and it's one of the parameters.
It's what?
I can just refer you to the redevelopment law, and you can take a look at it, and it's one of the parameters under utilized properties.
Is this property going to be joined with the other block 182 lot 7.02 prior to going to the planning board, or it's going to be standing on its own?
Standing on its own.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments from the floor? Seeing none, we have a motion to approve consent agenda item number 8.
So moved.
Second.
We need a roll call, please.
Committeewoman Hand.
Yes.
Committeeman Lapani.
Yes.
Committeewoman Payne.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Chigarelli.
Yes. Okay. Any others pulled? Okay, may I have a motion to approve the consent agenda items 5 through 7 and 9 through 44?
So moved.
Seconded.
Any comments from the dais?
No.
Hearing none?
I'll just add, I know the deputy mayor kind of went through some of these, but obviously within these consent agendas are a lot of the projects that were approved on capital planning and also road work, which will be done this year. So stay tuned.
Yeah, a lot of the capital projects are being out for bid or have been bid and are being solicited for. So yeah, there's a lot on the list here. Any comments from the floor?
Susan Gulliford, number 6 on the liquor license. Question was, is this one of the new licenses, an older one just being changed
Yeah.
by entity? And are there different background checks for an LLC than for an individual owner, or was that automatically be passed? Or does the state of New Jersey ABC have to take care of that first?
Would you like to answer?
Oh,
It's one of the new licenses. When it went out to bid, an individual bid and won the license. They since formed an LLC, but that was formed before they actually submitted the application. So all the paperwork that went in for that was for the LLC. It's just now formalizing, updating the winner of the bid to
We're just
reflect-
catching up with.
Yes,
okay.
before the application can be finalized, that needed to be submitted.
Okay. Number 10, the Energy Efficiency and Conservation Block Grant. A lot of these are interrelated. That one is paying for consent number 33, I guess, where we're getting bids for the lighting at the DEP.
Whose is that one?
33.
Number
Again, I was-
10, submission and acceptance of energy for a grant. And then number 33, authorization to solicit bids for lighting. I was wondering, is 10 paying for 33, so to speak? It looked like it,
It
but,
looks to be that way.
yeah.
Excuse me, a lot of the lights at the DEP, have become obsolete, and we can't get bulbs for them.
Oh,
So we have to take the opportunity at this time to retrofit them with some new upgraded efficient lights.
oh, okay, thank you. Now, there's a couple grants, they're all interrelated on the Brown Avenue.
Yep.
Ultimately, when all this paving and everything's done, will that stop us having the problem of the tractor trailers exiting and making a left onto 206,
Yes,
where Doherty Park is?
yes.
Yeah.
Okay, will
And-
that
I'm sorry.
also prevent traffic from Doherty Park from, well, it'll be a no left turn. They'll be expected to go out and use Brown Avenue.
That's
Correct.
correct.
Thank you.
And also Duke's Parkway East. So trucks shouldn't turn into Duke Estate, Duke Farms. They should go to Brown and make the right.
Ah, that will be helpful.
Sorry. It's a cut through directly from Royce Field straight through to 206 now.
Yeah.
Well,
it's-
it's not a road, no. Brown Avenue does not go all the way to Roycefield.
It doesn't go all the way?
No,
Sorry.
this
Sorry.
strictly
Not yet.
goes from the existing
Sorry.
Kinda ends-
existing depot
The
to
depot.
Brown Avenue, so the trucks don't have to come out and queue up to make that left on 206. In the future, there could be a plan to make it a contiguous road, but that is not what this project is.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean the depot. That's
Oh,
fair.
I thought it was going to be contiguous. Okay. Number 14, the main vestibule. The question was, why is it in need of replacement? The building isn't that old. What's being done, I guess, was the question.
Yeah, so I can answer that. We had some great videos on that. So Glenn DeAngelis, our manager here for the building, it disintegrated the bottom from the weather.
Threshold.
Yeah, so we wouldn't soon to be able to secure the building. So guys do an awesome job of doing our own in-house work, but the components on the bottom where the doors track, and for the security of locking the building through our system with the PD, there was no more, the bottom of the door was not being able to go into the hinge, so there was no way to repair it anymore. There wasn't parts anymore.
And believe it or not, the building's almost 30 years old now.
Yeah.
Time flies.
Just told my age, didn't I? I thought it was new. The new building.
I asked the same question until they went out there and they showed me, and they're like, it's in pieces, we can't. I'm like, okay.
Safety hazard.
You're the same age as the building. Congratulations for turning 30.
Number 26. You finally come up with one I haven't seen before. What is it? I don't know what the fixed assets, what that item is. And I couldn't find a
And Ms.
reference.
Goldford, I knew you were going to answer this question. So actually, when I was going through the agenda, I read that, and then I read the regulation, and then on top of that, I called our CFO, who on top of that called our auditor because I thought there might be a question about it.
He said Susan's going to
And-
be there. I
yeah,
better
no,
look this up.
And so, as far as legally, yes, the regulation basically that was adopted a long time ago, it looks like in the 90s, allows you to, increase the threshold up to $5,000 for your fixed.
What is that, though? What
Well,
is a
your
fixed?
So, in other words, your fixed asset list right now, the township's number is $500. So, if they had a printer or a computer that was worth $501, it would have to be inventoried and carried on their books and reported to the auditors and constantly monitored as a fixed asset. Because Right now, it's anything over $500. Well, in the late 90s, the legislature decided to amend that to up to $5,000, so you wouldn't have such small assets on this long list of fixed assets that the auditors have to report. So that's how it's carried on the books. So now we're only going to be required to keep track of items that are over $5,000. So if you have a computer, it's not going to have to appear on a fixed asset list.
Okay, so it was a reality check.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a good way to put it.
Number 38, the one-year contract for professional grant services. I see there were two responses to that request, one for $34,000 and one for $5,000 plus a per-project charge. The two responses were so different, I wondered what happened on that. Was that they just misunderstood the RFP? The RFP needed to be drilled down a little, or what happened?
Which one was that?
For Bruno?
It's
This is your grant. This is your grant person, Bruno.
Yeah. We may have to get back to you on that one.
Yeah.
It was just so different that I said, there's some question here.
What do you mean? You're just talking about the bids were much different?
Yeah,
So
it said there were two responses to, I guess it was
Yes.
RFP.
Mhm.
One was for $34,000, the other was $5,000 plus a per project.
Right, plus a
Yes,
per
per
project fee. And I think
project,
that's what they were
Right.
concerned about, is the per project fee
Right.
that would continue to escalate, and we didn't know what that amount would be.
Yeah,
And
but-
that it would be more per project than it would be to accept the flat fee.
Yeah, you can imagine the amount of projects we listed before with all the grants that we receive. So
Yeah.
Bruno Associate handles every one of my departments in every grant. And part of their goals and objectives, they have to add at least 2 to 10 grants per department every year on top of the ones they're doing. So if you can imagine all the grants that every department does, Bruno Associates handles the beginning, the middle, the end, and the reporting. So that number would be
Hundreds of
astronomical by project. So,
Okay.
yeah.
The responses just seemed so different. I wondered, was there a problem with the understanding on the RFP or
We-
something?
we have-
Okay.
Over the years, we have received many different bids that are out of control, and we ask sometimes the same thing, and sometimes people just try to bid way too low to get the bid, or they're not understanding, or they're not spending the amount of time in the response, so.
Okay, it makes you wonder if they actually read the RFP. Okay.
Yeah.
41, the stormwater maintenance and sanitary, the enclave at Roycebrook stormwater question. They've had other monitoring done there over the years that somehow fell through the cracks over like 25 years. This time, something is going to be set up to actually monitor it this time?
Tell me which item you're on,
I'm sorry, number 41,
Oh, 41.
the stormwater facilities maintenance agreement.
No, I think you're confusing two issues. I think what the questioner, I don't know, I know you get some of these questions from other people. I think what you're referring to is those monitoring wells that they talked
Yes.
about on the properties. This has nothing to do
Oh,
with.
yeah, I know
Yeah.
they're separate, but
Yeah, this has nothing to do with any of that. This has to do with stormwater management facilities. So,
Right.
as you know, there was a development approval for the Roycebrook project. So these agreements actually protect the township. Number one, the development agreement, so the project is developed in accordance with the approved plans, the resolution adopted by the board, and all applicable regulations. Number two, the stormwater management. The purpose of the stormwater management facilities agreement is that all the stormwater management facilities that they're going to build to service this particular project, that they are going to be responsible for the maintaining them. They're going to be responsible for all the reporting associated with it. And if they don't do it, the township has the right to go on the property, inspect, tell them to do it. If they don't do it, then we can do it and lien the properties. And that's the same thing with the sanitary sewer.
Okay.
Same exact thing. So that was the purpose of all three agreements. One, the development, make sure it's developed according to the approved plans in accordance with all applicable laws. Number two, stormwater facilities, make sure you maintain all those stormwater facilities. If you don't, we'll maintain it and we'll lien the properties. And number three, sanitary sewer facilities, the same thing. You're responsible for maintaining them. If you don't, we'll do it, but we're going to lien your properties.
Okay, there was really no confusion about the the old monitoring wells
Oh,
over the
okay.
25 years. It was just, were supposed to be monitored and weren't. What are we going to have now to make sure this one is monitored? That was the question.
For the record, they still have to do the well monitoring per the plan at the planning
The old
board
one,
for another, I think, 7 years,
Oh, okay.
and
good.
report it.
Okay, we're getting to the end. 43,
You're not leaving anybody else a chance.
right.
Maybe you guys are duplicating questions.
That's all good.
43, what specific items? I did look at it, 368,400, insertion of special item of revenue and appropriation into the budget. What specifically is that item?
Oh, that's funds that the township received municipal aid program and, I believe for roadway purposes, in particular Amsterdam Phase 3 paving project.
Oh, okay.
We're on the same one, right?
Let me look at
This
it.
is
43.
This is the 368, 400,000. It says FY 2023
Yeah.
municipal aid, LA 2023.
Yeah, so if you look at number 42 before that,
Okay.
the 42 before that indicates that the state has provided us with
Okay.
funding, the New Jersey Department of Transportation.
So 43 is referring to
That is
42.
report.
Okay,
They
good.
provided funding to the township that the township applied for, Howard Bruno Associates for 368,400, and that funding was approved by the NJDOT. And then once you receive any funding such as that, then you have to do that separate resolution, which now the CFO is kind of just putting it in the budget. Hey, listen, when we did the budget, we didn't know we were going to get these funds. Now we want to put it in the budget for this particular purpose, and that will be the road project.
Okay. Thank you. See you in a few minutes.
Thank you.
Maria Janusik. Consent number 6, the resolution regarding the plenary retail distribution liquor license. Does that, when was that liquor license sold? It was sold to the individual, Kumar Palani Pillai.
So the sale hasn't actually closed yet. They're still in the process of buying it. It went out to bid through the public sale option, so that was the winning bidder back in, I don't remember, in the
May.
spring. Yeah, was it May? Okay.
I'm sorry, when was it?
May.
This past May?
Yes. Yeah, so it's a brand-new license as allowed by population.
Actually,
And they were the winning bidder of that license. They bid highest. They're still in the process of purchasing it. So there's a lot of steps to go through before the license is actually issued. So we're still working through that process.
Okay, so I don't understand how they applied to buy it as an individual, and now they're changing to an LLC?
They bid on the license, and they were the highest bidder. They bid as an individual. They weren't sure if they were going to win it or not, so they formed a corporation in order to finish purchasing the license and going through the rest of the application. So that's completely acceptable. They're allowed to do that.
Not uncommon.
Yeah.
Plus, it's run by the state. We don't have any control over it.
Right.
So when do these liquor license that is purchased, when does it get its number?
When it's issued.
Once it's issued?
Mhm.
Okay. Consent number, can I just ask a question also? These are shown as consent numbers, but each of these has a resolution number, yes?
A resolution is a consent. So, I mean, they're numbered on the consent agenda, but there are resolutions, we number our resolutions 1 through the end of time, from the beginning of the year to the end of the year. They start at 1 and they end at thousands probably, so
But-
that's why you might see 2 different
But
numbers.
when it's filed, in order to refer to it a couple months later, shouldn't it have a resolution number? How do you then find this to refer to it?
We look at the agenda and we pull it up by, the order on the agenda. We search by contents of the agenda. I mean, we rarely refer to the number, but it's on there, just, it's not required. number. We just use it for tracking purposes if we need it.
So you don't, when you file them, you don't number the resolution,
We
like
don't
consent number?
File them where? They're not really filed. They're here on the agenda. They're approved.
Okay,
No,
but you have to keep a record of these resolutions, no?
This is, that, you're looking at it. That's the resolution. It's,
I understand, but like.
Well, Ms. Brake,
let's say-
are they kept now electronically?
yeah, they're just electronically. That's,
Yeah.
what you see is how they're stored. Exactly like that.
Okay, so if I wanted to refer to this resolution 3 months later now,
Typically,
I
they're
would-
referred to by title. I mean, people don't remember the numbers. They'll say, I'm looking for the resolution regarding whatever the topic was.
but the number on this page, on the upper left-hand corner, that would be the resolution number?
Correct.
Okay. Yeah, I don't understand why it's not just shown right away when you have this resolution. I go to the meetings in Manville and they put, resolution 2024 and then dash whatever it is. And it's a lot easier to refer to that than to say, I'm looking for consent
I think
11.
typically we do. We number them usually before the agenda is printed, and they may not have been, and things get reordered, and we want to make sure they go in order. So they may not have been put on today because it was, like I said, a little bit of a hectic day, but it doesn't change the content of the resolution or
I
anything
understand, but
like that.
so you don't number it?
Typically, we do. So if there, I didn't.
It's on there.
Is there a resolution?
Sarah,
I-
just so
says-
in case there is some confusion,
Yeah.
I'm looking at it because I do have the hard copy.
Okay, yeah.
So, for instance, if we take consent 14, it says on the right-hand side on the top,
Oh, it is on it.
it says consent 14.
Yep.
And then on the left-hand side, it
It's a
says
resolution. Yep.
R-261-2024.
Oh, Ms. John's like, that's the resolution number. It is there then.
The one in the left corner.
Sorry for any
I
confusion.
understand,
I didn't see the
and
printed
that's
copy.
that's what
But yeah.
I'm saying.
And I guess the
I
next
see
question
that
would be if
number.
Ms. Janasek wanted to, and she said, can I have R-261-2024, would you be able to search that and find it?
Sure.
There you go. Okay.
No, I'm saying consent 11.
It's
It's-
11 on this agenda. It's number 11 on this consent agenda. But we'll have another meeting in
If
September,
I-
which will have another consent agenda, and that'll have
If
A
I
new set of numbers.
If I saw just this resolution, I wouldn't know where to look for it. Unless I had an agenda, unless I have a resolution number, I just see resolution authorizing acceptance. I don't know how do you know where to look for it?
I don't understand your question.
So help
I mean,
me-
I
If
don't
I
understand.
submitted-
I don't understand.
Ms.
what-
Janasek, I mean, I'm looking at it right in front of
Yeah,
me.
I don't-
So if, for instance, consent 11, if you didn't know the resolution number, you could ask for today's date. I want August, what is it today, the 13th?
13th.
August 13th, 2024 Township Committee meeting. I want resolution consent 11, and you would be able to
And there
provide
we
that. Or if you actually knew the resolution number, you could just say, I want R-258-2024.
Upper left-hand column.
We
Either
just,
way.
we
So
like to give
either
you
way,
lots
you
of
can-
options.
You got two options.
Or you could just say liquor licenses.
You could do that too.
You can say a million
There's
things.
third option.
We can look it up in 3 seconds in
Yeah,
a search.
you could go right on Civic Clerk and you could look up yourself. They're all listed there on every agenda. You could put in an OPA request. There's many ways you could find that resolution. You could just stop in and ask, and we can help you find it. I don't understand the confusion.
No, I just don't understand why the number of the resolution isn't included when the resolution is.
It is though. It's right on the top of the page.
In the title, resolution
Oh.
authorizing, why is there not resolution so-and-so?
Because that's not the way we do it.
It's not.
I
It's
don't
not
know
part
what
of
to
the
tell you.
title.
It's a computer system, it numbers it, there it is, it's right on the left-hand corner. If you want to look at it, that's the resolution number.
So consent 11, which is resolution 258-2024, resolution authorizing acceptance of grant funds from the NJ DOT for the Brown Avenue Extension Improvement Project. So originally, I believe this project was supposed to be done by the county, but it was transferred to Hillsborough. So Hillsborough received $1,500,000 in funding to support this project. But then you've got a consent in the back. Let's see, where is it? Consent 40. which is Resolution 287-2024, and it's a resolution authorizing insertion of special item of revenue and appropriation into the budget. And this is an amount of $1,500,000. So the township also has to contribute $1,500,000 to this project.
Ms. Janicek, if I can help you with that, sure. You indicated correctly that originally when this project took shape, it was the county who was going to be the lead agency on this particular matter. But it was always anticipated that the project would be paid for by way of grant fundings, and whatever wasn't covered by grant fundings, it would be covered by Somerville Business Park. But the county was going to be the lead agency on this. I guess about a year ago, the county came to us and they said, no, Hillsborough, it's in your town. We want you to be the lead agency. At that point in time, a number of grants had already been awarded from the state to Somerset County for this project, and the total grant funding is $1,900,000 and change. So approximately $1.9 million has been awarded in grant funding for this particular project. Those grant funds have now been transferred to the township to administer, and you'll also see on this agenda, it was publicly bid, this project, and the bid came in at $1,700,000 and something thousand. So the total project should be funded by the grant funding and not by the township, and the township won't be spending any funds for this project, because if there's any balance due, it would have to come from Somerville Business Park.
And the same thing, we have to insert into the budget because it's money, that's what number 40 is.
That's correct.
Which we
That's
talked
correct.
about with the other thing.
Right.
Anytime we receive grant fundings, the CFO then is required to ask the director to insert that into our budget, because it wasn't in our budget before, because obviously we didn't know we were going to get the grant funds.
So you're saying that for this consent number 40, that this $1,500,000 is the grant money that you're talking about in the other resolution?
Yes, there's two separate grants. So grant amounts, you'll see the 1.5, and then you'll see another one for 400,000 and change.
Yes.
Those two together equal the $1.9 million that I've just indicated. So you'll see two separate resolutions accepting the grants, and you'll see two separate resolutions asking the director to insert that into the township budget. And then you'll see another resolution awarding a contract to, what was the name of the park? Something right.
Silo?
No, it wasn't. No, it's not Silo.
Pave right?
Pave right, yes, to Pave Right for $1.7 million. They're the contractor for the project.
And who's paying for that?
The grant
money we
funds.
received, the grant
Through
funds.
through the grant
Yes,
funds? So that is the only expense? Is that
Yes,
that paving?
yep.
In this
No, there's more than just paving. They're going to construct a road there.
Well, the engineering, as you know,
Yes.
I made it abundantly clear to you that we shouldn't pay a dime.
And
Right? And so for the engineering that's been done by Pannoni, that's all coming out of the grant funding. We're just a pass-through entity for that. We're
Yes.
coordinating it, but we're not spending any taxpayer dollars on this project at all.
So there will be no expense whatsoever to Hillsborough for this Brown Avenue Extension project?
correct.
We'll probably have some headaches along the way, but no dollars.
Probably.
I'm sorry, there was something I wanted to ask, but I can't find it. In consent number 11, in paragraph 2, whereas the Township of Hillsborough will oversee the project as stated in the previously executed agreement between the County of Somerset, Somerville Business Park LLC, and the Township of Hillsborough. What is the role of Somerville Business Park LLC in this project?
Somerville Business Park is the leaseholder. That's the government property. They lease it from the federal government, and they are, I would say, the landlord of that particular property. So this particular project, we feel, benefits them the construction of this. It also benefits, obviously, the township because we're trying to get these trucks off of these back roads. So it's a big benefit to the township, it's a big benefit to the county, but Somerville Business Parks, the trucks will be going in and out on Brown Avenue into their facility. So we feel they're a beneficial party, and that any amount that's not covered by the grant funding, they should pick up the cost. And that's what the agreement says.
Who should pay the cost?
business
Somerville
park.
Business Park?
Yes,
I-
Yes.
you're-
Anything above whatever the grant covers, Somerville Business Park covers
Right.
the rest.
And they're leasing this property?
Yes.
From the federal government. It's a federal government-owned property, GSA.
It's a 20, 30-year contract.
Does the township have a copy of that lease agreement?
Between the federal government, we might, I don't know. I don't know, but it's not our contract, it's the federal government.
So, all right, so that property is owned by the federal government, but it's in Hillsborough, and that's why Hillsborough is doing this project?
The road is in Hillsborough, it's going to be a municipal road.
So is there any kind of agreement with Somerville Business Park and Hillsborough? Any written agreement?
Yes.
That's one we
There
just
is.
described to you. Did you not understand? I guess not.
No, I didn't, I'm sorry, I
But
didn't
said
understand.
that the agreement is that Somerville Business Park will cover any and all costs above whatever the grant money's received. So if for example, if the road was $3 million after all said and done, and we have $1.5 million from the grant, they would be responsible for the other $1.5 million.
So that agreement is
Yes.
in Hillsborough because it is a agreement with them. And also the agreement between the county of Somerset and Hillsborough, that also is an agreement that's available in Hillsborough?
Hold on. There's one agreement. It's between all three parties. One agreement, all three parties.
So Somerset County,
Somerset County, Township of Hillsborough, Somerville Business Park, all three parties, one agreement.
okay. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. All right, any more comments from the floor? So roll call, please, on the motion to approve 5 through 7, 9 through 44.
We
Yep.
just have to do the roll call.
Committee Woman Hand.
Yes.
Committeeman Connie.
Yes.
Committeewoman Payne.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Chico.
Yes. All right, next, public hearings. We have 2024-13, an ordinance appropriating certain monies held by the Township of Hillsborough, County of Somerset, State of New Jersey, for the purchase of municipal building thermostats in the amount of $185,000 in and for the Township of Hillsborough. May I have a motion to open the public hearing on ordinance 2024-13?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, is there any discussion from the dais on this ordinance?
I will defer to Mr. Ferrer first. I think he has.
Thank you, because I'm sure there'll be questions. Susan, Maria, sorry. So I probably can't explain the frustration with this project as well as Bill did for Sunnymead. But this is a project that when the building had its new roof with our solar, and we paid an outside vendor to take care of everything, meaning all the controls for our air conditioning and heating is controlled by a third-party person many, many years ago. Spent a lot of money on the brains for this system that they control. So for the past dozen years, we have been extremely frustrated here with the system and trying to fix it, and I don't want to go into the whole long short of it, but our employees are either cold or hot or humid, and the system has never worked, just like the courtroom that Susan has mentioned many times, for sizing issues and just a lot of things way, way before anybody was up here. So the contract was signed. Bill and I have gone back after the company over the years to try to fix some of the problems, but I can assure you the last thing we want to do is renew the contract for a lot of money and have a third party try to control our thermostats here in the municipal building. As it sounds like a simple thing, like, oh my God, this is a lot of money for a thermostat. This is software. This is the brains of a system that is controlling the economizer and a million different things. What I can tell you, this isn't anything new to the budget this year or going forward. This was an expense that was incurred last year, the year before, and set aside for thermostats here at the municipal building. We knew the contract was ending with the company. We knew that the software was no longer supported. If we wanted to go ahead and renew this contract, it would cost us a significant amount of money, additional software, computers, and again, having absolutely no control. So in meeting with our internal team, they feel that controlling, and we've done this already, we just didn't do this out of nowhere, we don't just make bad decisions here. We've set up a couple separate thermostats over the years to say, can we control our own space, and is that a better way to do this? And I can assure you that we have a couple offices here, and those employees are very, very happy. The other ones are not. So we need to be fair across the board. We put money in the budget for this, it's either last year or the year before, and the money's sitting there. It actually can't be spent for anything but thermostats here in the building. It's set aside for that specifically. So before anybody thinks that we're spending new money or using it for somewhere else, we can't. So we are very happy, the 200 and some employees, that they are dying to get their own thermostat. What I can assure you is the number is going to come in much, much lower. This number, when we looked at the costs, 2 years ago, it was really having outside company coming in and installing and rewiring everything. And our guys have now learned in the past year or two that we can do it ourselves. So this number, it seems high, but I've been assured by our team that it's going to be a lot lower. And we don't need a maintenance contract, and we don't need new software, and we don't need every time somebody coming here charging us a lot of money. It has been not a great situation here over the past dozen years in trying to work with this large company to help the employees, and they're going to be very thankful that we could finally implement this, and this is the right time to do it. But again, this is no new budget money, nothing new in the budget. It's already been there for the past few years. It's waiting for this day, and the day is here. So in case anybody had questions on that. That's the long and short of it.
When's the proposed install?
I'm sorry?
When is the proposed install?
As soon as possible. As soon as you guys
Okay.
pass this, like I said,
They're
the
ready.
system right now, this unit here controls different
But
parts
the
of.
company that's installing is ready to go.
It'll be us. We're the company. We're
Oh,
doing
okay.
it. This is why that number a couple years ago is high, because we had to have outside people do it. Our guys have now
Okay.
done this, and they feel very comfortable. But this is not just a thermostat where you go to Lowe's or Home Depot. It's a thermostat. There's a brain. There's software.
Yep.
It's components that communicate with each other, bringing air in and out. It's not like a little thermostat you put on a wall. So our guys are telling us it's going to be significantly lower, and we can finally control our space, because like administration is connected to 2 other departments, and somebody's hot, somebody's cold. There's just, it's not been good, to say the least.
Anthony, do you anticipate, like, effects? I'm just thinking of, like, my house, if there are changes with the thermostat. Do you anticipate changes as far as the, utility bills for the building? Maybe it could be better because it'll be more well-controlled, or do you think it'll be a higher
We sure hope
expense?
so, yes. Because this whole system, which is awful, it's occupied, unoccupied times, and then we can't even control it. So I have 2 of my electricians almost on a daily basis trying to work these rooms on a daily basis. So yes, we believe that we can control that, like we do in certain departments. It's perfect. The temperature's perfect, everything works great, and like I said, for the other departments, they're going to be very happy that we finally get this done. And again, this was a contract that was signed a long time ago when we had our roof and our solar, and this whole package was sold to us, and it was not what was promised, for sure.
You're kicking on.
So
Is it going to be wireless as well, or centrally controlled?
It's centrally controlled.
Okay, well,
So,
all
Yes, it's been frustrating to say the least. So, but again, no new money. It's in the budget. It can't be spent for anything else, and it's been there already.
All right.
Okay.
Any comments from the floor?
Susan Gulliford. Yeah, some of the warehouse meetings have gotten rather warm in here.
I wouldn't
just-
know.
Just so I understand, we're buying the parts. We're going to do the installation, removal, and disposal of the old system in-house, and what, I guess they would be available if we needed any initial adjustments. But aside from that, we're just buying the parts.
Yeah, and our guys are installing them and wiring it. Yes.
Okay, and
We've already successfully done that. So we wanted to see the past year or two installing it. Does it make sense? Can we control it? Is everybody happy? And the answer has been yes. When are we getting ours? So. Yes.
okay, just wanted to make sure I understood that. Thank you.
We're fortunate to have two awesome electricians on staff. So.
Maria Janusik answered my question. I was going to ask who are the guys that are going to do the work. So there are two electricians?
Yes, we have two electricians on staff who've been
Wow,
here a
staff.
long time. Mhm.
Okay, and they're familiar with
Absolutely.
heating and air conditioning?
They have been working this system since I've been here. They know the system inside and out. They, on a daily basis, have to fix every room, and so they know this current system, and they know the new system because they've installed it. So I have 100% confidence. They not only know the heating, but they're up on the roofs and the units, and yeah, they're excellent.
So there's an old system, and they're going to install a new system, or they're just going to repair the old system?
They're pretty much going to disconnect the unit and the brain. If you can just imagine, like there's a brain that runs this entire system, they're going to disconnect that brain. Instead of running the entire building, we're going to run office by office, just like you do at your home, right? So if you go home and you want to turn to 73, it's going to go to 73 and it's going to shut off. Here, we don't know. I put the air conditioning on about, I don't know, what time is it? It's getting late. A couple hours ago, it just turned on.
No, because my husband does heating and air conditioning installation, and I've heard a lot about the process. So I'm just wondering how this is going to be done, where you're going to put new parts into an old system.
Yeah, no. Those old parts are gone. We don't want anything to do with that system. So it'll be rewired into the new system, into the new brain, brand new.
So I think, Sean, the blowers and the furnaces are all the same. It's just the controls of that unit is what's changing, to simplify it.
Thank you.
Thank you. May I have a motion to close the public hearing and adopt ordinance 2024-13?
So moved.
A second?
Seconded.
Roll call, please.
Committee Woman Hand,
Yes.
Committee Woman Bonney,
Yes.
Committee Woman Payne,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Campbell.
Yes.
And one last time I listed, I just threw me out.
Okay. Now the claims list. May I have a motion to approve claims list 2024-11?
So moved.
A second?
Seconded.
Any comments from the dais?
Nope.
Seeing none. Any comments from the floor?
Maria Janusik. On the supplemental checklist, there is an item, Borough of Manville, tax sale payments, $1,668.16. How is there a tax sale on, that involves the Borough of Manville?
If Mr. Willard wants to handle that?
Yes, Ms. Janasek, this, most likely, I think we've had this conversation before. We have some properties in Hillsborough that are serviced through Manville Sewer, so they owe Manville money for the sewer. But obviously, if they don't pay, Manville has no ability to have a tax sale lien because the property is in Hillsborough. So therefore, Hillsborough holds the tax sale on the property, and when they get the money, they remit it to the Borough of Manville.
But why is it referred to it as a tax sale versus sewer issue?
Because all taxes and municipal charges are considered a tax sale. That's just what they call it.
'Cause it goes to the property, the house.
Thank you.
Thank you. Roll call, please.
Committeewoman Hand.
Yes.
Committeewoman Lapani.
Absolutely.
Committeewoman Payne.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Ciccarelli.
Yes. We don't have any new business from the dais. We have public comments for matters not on the agenda. Ms. Brake, please read the statement regarding public comment. Oh,
And use the
okay.
clock.
No, she's just getting ready.
I'm going to read your
appreciate
statement
that.
first. You have to wait. The Township Committee welcomes input from the public. Please state your name and address, and please spell your name for the record. You will be given 1 3-minute allotment for your comments. Please understand that this public forum is not structured as a question and answer session. Comments are to be addressed to the mayor, deputy mayor. Again, please keep your comments to 3 minutes. Thank you.
Susan Gulliford, Hunt Club Road, Gulliford. 2 comments, one on JCP&L. They've had repeated electrical outages on the mountain, which has happened for many years. Years ago, the Township Committee suggested to JCP&L that they make a presentation about what the problem was and what they were doing to alleviate it. I don't know. They're much more frequent in the JCP&L coverage area than PSE&G, as you all know. So just wondered if maybe that could again be addressed. The second one was a question, since the stormwater management over at the golf course was brought up, and somebody asked a question, Claremont, when that was built around 1960, the next development to Roycebrook, there was apparently a report, I haven't seen it, my husband's family was one of the original owners, we just sold that house a few years ago, that the stormwater drainage system for that development was undersized. Now, with flooding increased and the housing coming in at Roycebrook, I don't know anything about it. I can't put my hands on this study that was supposedly done, and the question came up, in light of their stormwater going in and the new development, the enclave, would those pipes be reevaluated, I guess, was what they were looking at. Thank you.
Okay. I don't have any answer for that, but we'll look into.
Yeah, well, the question was further, who would it be? Would it be DEP? Would it be Hillsborough? Would it be the county? Where would you turn with this question was what I was asked.
Okay.
Maria Janusik, Janucik. So there are 440 Hillsborough properties that are hooked up to Manville's sewer system. Manville recently sold its sewer system. The sale hasn't been completed yet, but sold its sewer system to New Jersey American Water Company. So the 440 Hillsborough properties that are hooked up to the Manville sewer system will now also become customers of New Jersey American Water. This is documented in Hillsborough Ordinance 2024-06, which was introduced on May 14, 2024, and had a public hearing on 6/11/2024, and was approved by this governing body. Was notice provided to the 440 Hillsborough property owners that because of the sale of Manville sewer system, they will now be serviced by New Jersey American Water Company. And is there a list of the 440 Hillsborough property owners who were given notice? And is there a copy of the notice that was provided to the 440 Hillsborough property owners? Additionally, I was at the Manville meeting yesterday, and one of the holdups of the completion of the sale is that there needed to be a study done of how many easements, which of the easements in Manville, and I wanted to find out also if there are any easements in Hillsborough that are a part of the consent and permission given from Hillsborough to New Jersey American Water.
I mean, we can look into it, I guess, but I don't think we really have any role in that, right?
Well, as far as personal notice, I don't believe any personal notice was required by the state. Apologize, I didn't have my mic on. I don't believe the statute required any personal notice to each of the individual residents. I don't know if American Water sent them out something. They might have sent something out to them directly. I don't know. And with respect to the system, any easements would be held by the Hillsborough Municipal Utilities Authority, and those easement rights would be turned over to New Jersey American Water so they could maintain the lines that service those dwellings.
So the easement question would be MUA?
MUA, but logically, New Jersey American Water is going to take over the services of those. So if there's a sewer line running through a street down in that area that the Hillsborough MUA or somebody, or I'm sorry, not down the street, but down a private property that the Hillsborough MUA holds, that would have to go back over to NJ American Water so they could maintain those lines.
So this would be a question for the Hillsborough Municipal Utilities Authority as far as the easements?
Yes, but I'm pretty sure that I just gave you the answer. I think that's right. Pretty confident.
And you're saying that no notice was provided to the 440 Hillsborough property owners
I-
that they're going
I-
to get sewer service now from New Jersey American Water versus Manville?
I don't know if New Jersey American Water sent them out a notice. I don't believe the township did, other than our usual notice process wherein we comply with the statute and the was published and noticed on our agenda and published.
I'm sorry, which statute you're referring to?
40:49-1 and 2 or 1.
Which refers to, I'm sorry, I don't know. It refers to what?
How you adopt an ordinance in the state of New Jersey.
Time's up. 3 minutes.
Oh.
It's how you adopt an ordinance in the state of New Jersey.
New one.
The procedure for adoption of an ordinance in the state of New Jersey.
That refers to what, to sewers, to notices? I have no idea what that statute refers to.
Well, okay.
Could you repeat the statute number?
I believe it is NJSA 40:49-1. Did I get it right, Sarah? 49:1-2.
Yeah.
40
I'd have to look it up.
I'm getting to be an old man. I forget things. I know where they are. I know where they are,
Close,
but
you get credit in my book.
They put that on the bar? I think bottom line, Ms. Jansak, is what Mr. Willer was saying was that the requirement of notice per his statute for this was not required, but the ordinance was noticed as we normally do as far as putting it on civic clerk and that kind of stuff for our adoption. And really, the ball's in Manville's court as far as moving forward and requiring all the easements. So I think you should start with Manville and the MUA.
and the Google says I'm right.
All right.
Yay.
40, 40:49-1?
40:49-2.
Dash 2?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, very good. The ordinance states 440 Hillsborough properties. It
think
does
he's
not
answered-
state which properties they are in this ordinance. Time up. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
May I have a motion to?
Well, we got somebody else coming up? Wait, no.
Hear this
wait.
gentleman.
Yeah, come on up.
Come on up.
He's been waiting very patiently,
All right.
and that's all good.
Hello, my name is Arya. I'm from Troop 89.
Hello.
I live in Sunnymead Drive,
Okay.
Sunnymead Society, and I have like 3 questions. Are there any facilities that the county can provide for Scouts, like for Boy Scouts and Girl Scouts?
Are there any what? I'm sorry?
Facilities,
Facilities?
To be able to use?
yeah, that the county can provide for Scouts as like.
So as a former Boy Scout and Cub Scout leader and Girl Scout and Brownie, I can let you know there's several county properties that are in possession of or shared at least with, what type of facility specifically are you referring to? Like a campground?
Yeah,
What?
campgrounds. Like,
Okay, so we have a Girl Scout campground here in the township that is also utilized occasionally by the Boy Scouts. up off of Montgomery
DeWitt.
Road. Yep, Camp DeWitt. Then behind Colonial Park, there is another campground that is utilized for overnights by both associations as well, the GSA and BSA.
Oak Spring Camp.
Oh my God. And then I'm sure there are others. Those are the ones that I know locally that we utilize through the Hillsborough.
And also, my
troops.
fear is that Dukes used to let us, as Boy Scouts, camp there if you asked. I don't know if they still do or not. Dukes is
I'm
Dukes.
pretty sure they don't, but that's fair.
But the county, the county has a Parks and Rec department as well, so if you wanted to give them a call,
Yep.
they could help you out.
And are there any plans for investment for like Hillsborough Boy Scouts and Girl Scouts? Investments for them? Because they're like lacking some tents and like broken things. So like we are doing our private things, but like if any investments can help.
So
Well,
if
I
I
would-
can answer that, we just had that on our meeting tonight. So to fill in your application tonight online through our grant program, we've given over 100,000 in grants over the past few years to many Boy Scout groups. So if there's something that you need and that you're looking for, please submit to the group for consideration.
Yeah, you'll see that in the e-news tomorrow also,
Yes, it'll be in the e-news. You can also find it on our website. So
for grants.
Yep.
And can any young people can help on that?
Yes, as a matter of fact, I just reached out to the Boy Scout and Girl Scout troops and the leaders within Hillsborough Township specifically on several ideas for some of the Gold and Eagle Scout projects. So that's where we're really looking to partner with you guys and bring you into kind of some of the events and things like that that are going on, but also improvements to our township, right? So you're aware, obviously, that like the flag mail, oh crap, I have a flag in my car. The flag mailbox outside, out in the hallway right here, there's a flag mailbox. That was an Eagle Scout project. Another Eagle Scout project was redoing the decking of the pond at Ann Van. So those are the kinds of things that we're looking always to volunteer with. Beyond that, we have a list of volunteers that Business Administrator Ferrer keeps in check here in the township offices, and we're always looking for hands on deck for various things that we do throughout the year.
Yeah, so as Committeewoman Payne had mentioned, if you have any projects, just come see me in the office, and we'll work with Parks and Recreation in my department and Sarah. We have plenty of great projects to do, and we've had great successes by both Girl Scouts, Boy Scouts, and their Eagle and Gold projects here. So we're always willing to help you and give you some creative ideas and help you out and help promote the projects.
Thank you.
Can I just say something to you too?
Yeah.
So there have been many, I've only been doing this for 8 months, but there have been about 4 Boy Scouts that have come and they've sat in the back and they've never once come up and asked us a question. So thank you so much for that.
Thank you.
That's awesome.
I was just going to say, one of the advantages of talking to the Administrator Ferreira is there's multiple committees, whether it's the Historic Preservation Committee, there's multiple, the Veterans Committee, et cetera, that all have projects and things that need to be done. And so there's a tremendous amount of ideas out there. It's a matter of matching, the passion, the energy, and the skill set with those. So please come and chat with us.
All right.
Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you for coming up.
And thank you for waiting.
Motion to adjourn.
Tough crowd.
Susan, how would you rate him? Did he do okay? Did he do okay? All
May I
right.
have a motion
Maria,
to
did he do okay? Come on. Can we give him a hand?
So moved.
a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Committeewoman Hand,
Yes, please.
Committeeman Lapani,
Yes.
Committeewoman Payne,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Ciccarelli.
Yes, thank you. The time is 10:01.
9:00.
I'm going to bang the gavel again.
All right.
All right.
There you go.